Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 19 of Paranormal Blogs Growing Up Paranormal. So, have you seen my last video? I added some special effects and just having fun, keeping it light, and I plan on adding a few more. So, keep watching. Now, at night, when everything is still, I always hear things going on in other dimensions. I can hear a lot of noises. It doesn't have to be silent. I have my air purifier on, and I just lay there and immediately I can hear it. Now, I could probably hear it in the day, but things aren't still. You have daytime noises, people moving around, and everything else. So you're not going to get the silence like you get at night. Even if you have an air purifier or a fan on, you'll still get those. You could probably hear them. Just lay there still and close your eyes if you have to and listen, and you'll hear them. You can even ask them questions and they'll answer you, because I do. So today on episode 19, two short little stories. They're not as much paranormal as all my other things, but I always have things happening to me on a daily basis or a weekly or monthly. Like you've seen on my other video, I showed you the light orbs. Another day on one of my other last videos, I can't remember the numbers, you'll have to look, they're my last few videos. I showed you a clip of an EVP of someone commenting on a necklace that I made. Let's get started with the first story. So my first story is a short one. This was back in the late, I want to say maybe the late 70s, early 80s. And I was babysitting my one niece. And I was in the house I grew up with. It was a big 5-floor house, and it was on Long Island, New York. And I was babysitting my one niece till my sister got out of work. And my mother was already passed away, and my father was sick in the hospital. So they were staying at, they had an apartment of their own, but eventually they were staying there and everybody took turns. But my niece came over and my sister went to work, and I was babysitting her. So we were on the main floor, which would be, if you're counting from the basement, the third floor. And we were sitting there, but I began to get my premonitions of an uneasy feeling like I was being watched. Now, this is the house I grew up in, so even though I have always had paranormal experiences, I wasn't getting the feeling that this was an entity. I got the feeling that this was human form. And I've never been afraid of that the whole time I was there. I had a whole bunch of paranormal things growing up that I was afraid of, but I got an uneasy feeling, and I felt like I was being watched. And I just had a sense. My premonition was telling me there was someone watching that was human. So I got really scared all of a sudden, and I looked around, and I don't know, I felt very uneasy. So we had a screen door in the back that I just quickly got that, and I shut the sliding glass doors and I locked it. And I began to feel very uneasy, and I thought I heard a weird sound. So I don't know, I just sensed it. It was one of my knowings, and I sent my niece into the fourth floor bathroom. It was like the main one once you go up the stairs from the foyer. It's right there, and I sent her in there, and I grabbed a big knife and I went in there and I grabbed the phone. Now, we didn't have cordless phones at this time. They came shortly thereafter, but this is the early 80s, late 70s. We didn't have cordless. We had the long cords, the little wiry cords. So the phone was in my mother's bedroom, my parents' bedroom, and I pulled it, and it had a long cord as well, and I called to have my sister paged, and I told her, I swear, I think someone's in our backyard or trying to break in. She goes, well, did you see him? I go, I don't know. I just had this sense. She goes, well, where are you? And I said, I'm in the main bathroom with my niece, and I got a knife. And she's like, well, hold on. And she's like, let me call her husband. Anyway, come to find out, they came home and everything, and I saw cops in the backyard. I was right, because what happened was, my neighbor called the cops because there was a man trying to break into her home, and apparently he had robbed some other neighbor or something, and the cops were after him, and he must have hopped the fence into our yard, and we had like a little shed that was shaped like a barn, and that's why the doors were open, because when I peeked out and shut the screen, I removed the screen and shut the sliding doors, I noticed the shed barn doors were open, and they're always closed. So I was thinking he might be hiding in there, and that is what I felt, my premonition or my intuition, and I was right, because they found his knife in there. He went in there and to hide, and then he must have saw me look out and say, hello, anyone there? And that's when I closed the door, took the screen away and closed the door and locked it, so he got spooked and he just ran, left the barn doors open, left his knife inside and took off. But the cops then came in there and they found his knife and everything. So I was right. There was someone there, even though I didn't see it or knew anything was going on, other than the fact that I had this strong feeling, premonition, and that the barn doors were open to the shed. So that was a short little story. Like I said, it wasn't really spooky, but it was just something that happened that I remembered. And but I knew. So sometimes having the abilities helps you, because what if I didn't know and I was just hanging out? He could have walked into the house, and who knows what he could have done, because our screened-in door was kind of it was the wrong screen door for that sliding, and it kind of just, you could just push it off its tracks. So we used to put it there when we were home, and then we weren't there, or at night we would pick it up, remove it, and put the sliding glass doors. So that's that story. Another story was one where I used to live in South Florida, and I worked in Riviera Beach, and I had to drive all the way to Pompano to pick up the paychecks. So I took my car and I was driving, and road construction never cleans up their stuff most of the time, and I guess some big pipes rolled out, like a couple of them, because they were digging up the roads, the sides of the roads, and there was a big problem with a lot of construction companies not cleaning up their messes and leaving things to just float around the road and causing major accidents. And I was on 95 going towards Pompano, and I must have been in the Boca area, and as I'm driving, now there's a big tractor trailer to my left, there are other cars coming on to the highway, and as I'm driving, there was an exit up ahead, and as I was driving, these round pipes, I see the car in front of me was a Mercedes, and he was trying to avoid it, and he got hit by him, and all of a sudden they were like big pipes, long, big, round, and they came rolling towards my car, and I was like, I couldn't swerve to the left because I had a tractor trailer, and to the right there was nothing, so where was I going to go? And Florida, you have canals, water canals with alligators and stuff, so I wasn't going to go into a canal, but it hit me right at the point where the exit was starting, and I don't remember. Time stopped. Just like my other accident, I didn't have an accident, but almost accident that I explained in one of my many paranormal blogs back in the beginning. I don't know which episode it was. You'll have to watch them all to find out. But as I was trying to, I saw the truck, and I don't even remember. I just know my wheel was like kind of turning by itself, and before you know it, I was on the side of the road. And I don't know. And I remember seeing the other two cars. There was a Mercedes and then like an SUV, and they got it, and I got it. And It destroyed two of my tires totally. I was on the rims. It bent my two rims because these were steel pipes, and it totally destroyed them. And I don't honestly know what happened there, because I was a little further from the exit, but suddenly I'm right here by the exit. So I was able to avoid going into a canal and avoid going into the tractor trailer to my left, because he was in the middle lane. And we were going pretty fast. I mean, you're on 95, you're going between 45 and 55, so some drive even faster. So, and I don't know how I got control of it. Don't know. It just, my car just handled it, and I ended up right in like a median thing before the exit. So it was almost as if I was led that way, like time stopped, somebody else took over, and then poof, time came back and I was already safely on the side. Now I know most people say, oh, that was just your reflexes and your adrenaline, so you just don't remember it. But no, I mean, I really didn't know what to do at this point. It felt like I had, it was rolling like this. They went under my tires and I couldn't get any traction, and I don't know what happened after that. It just, there I was, and I had two destroyed tires, two destroyed rims, which I made my company that I worked for pay for that, because after all, if you want me to pick up payroll, you should give me the company vehicle. So they paid for it. I was out for a few days, but then I got to use the company. Well, that wasn't a spooky story. It still was another, I believe sometimes time can stop for other entities to help you, just like that other accident, almost accident I explained in my other paranormal episode, where I was going through the light that was green. It was my turn to go, and this guy out of nowhere on this side's just like, he was an old man and he was just looking straight ahead with this crazy look, and it was almost as if he didn't see anybody on the road, and he went right through the light, and he should have hit me, because here I am, here he is, and I remember seeing him, and then that's it, and then somehow I'm on the other side. I don't know, how could you avoid that? He should have T-boned me, but it was the strangest thing. It's as if everything went in slow motion and it was stopped, and then I'm on the other side. I'm like, how did that happen? So I believe that something interferes if that's not meant to happen. And sometimes you never know. Maybe something is trying to get at you to do something to you that's bad, and something that's good intervenes and stops it. So I'm sure there's many of you out there that had that experience, and don't think it wasn't a supernatural experience, because sometimes they are. Sometimes something intervenes and tries to cause an accident, to make something bad happening to you. So that's when the something good can intervene. If it was meant to happen to you naturally, then I don't know if they would intervene. But I think that if it wasn't meant and somebody was intervening to make it happen to you, then something can intervene that's good to help you. So while this didn't have to do with ghost or anything too paranormal, it still is like a time slip, time stop, something like that. So I just wanted to do that quick, just wanted this one to be a short, quick one. And so far there's been no light orbs that I've caught. Who knows, maybe on here. I haven't caught any so far, so hopefully, and I haven't got any more EVPs for you lately. I do have to sit and have a combo. This time I think I'll talk to interdimensional beings, because I did listen to one of my EVPs from like April of last year, and I didn't realize it, but a sneaky little negative got in there and said, kill yourself. So if I would have heard that then, I would have been like, really? You do it. And I don't listen to that, because sometimes it's just a negative spirit that used to be human, that's just trying to, be a wise ass, basically, and be very negative and try to scare you, but I don't scare. And when I get negatives, I just tell them, get out of here. You weren't invited. I don't allow you. I don't give permission to you. And I explain all that in all my videos. So, in all my paranormal vlogs. So I hope you like this short little story. I know it was short. I know it wasn't long like all the other ones, but I try to keep them different. I try to, some are longer, some are shorter. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe now. Click the bell for future notifications. And keep checking back for new videos just in case you don't get a notification. And if you haven't watched all my paranormal video blogs, start now. Start with episode 1 and work your way up to now. So this way you get a better idea. And if anything else paranormal happens, I'll be sure to make another video and put it in here. So I'll see you on my next video. Bye.